subject in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, Srimad Bhagavatam is the first time when we are introducing a topic which is very much, which we are involved in, that is called time. The factor called time, space, motion, these are things which we learn in science. So today, the topic which we will be exploring, when Narayana created this whole thing, the universe, how is it that he set the time up? See, there must be some parameters, something by which the time got created. So there has to be a certain factor. So today we are going to understand time. So as a small recap of what we did in the last, yesterday, we were doing something which is called Maitreya Muni is sitting in front of, Vidura. Vidura has asked him a lot of questions. And Maitreya Muni is answering him. Slowly, he is giving him the 10 different things which God has created through himself, that was naturally, and through Brahmaji, that came about by using some things in the body of the divine. So this is what we understood as of yesterday. So today we are starting a new chapter, and this chapter is called Calculation of Time from the Atom. Now today we have this thing called the atomic clocks. How many of you have an idea about atomic clocks? I don't know, but we measure time by means of the cesium atomic clock. This is a very interesting phenomena. So please bear with me, those who don't understand a little bit of science. So you will have to maybe, like cool. So let us see. All right, so let us start the chapter. So we are doing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Part 1. This is Chapter 11, Calculation of Time from the Atom. Verse 1, the material manifestation's ultimate particle, which is indivisible and not formed into a body, is called the atom. It exists always as an invisible identity, even after the dissolution of all forms. The material body is but a combination of such atoms, and it is misunderstood by the common man. Here Maitreya Muni is already giving us the understanding that human beings have a very big difficulty of knowing the subject of atoms. Alright, what is this atom all about, and where do we come into the picture? So if we have to look at it from that perspective, you will understand that the smallest part of any living entity or a non-living entity, which means sentient being or insentient being, anything that is an object in nature, which has been created by the Divine Lord. It could be even an object like sun. Sun is all gas, as you know. So if you have to look at the sun, or you might have to look at planets, which are hard substances. So whichever way you look at it, all these are punctuated by something which we called as time. And that time, the basic structure starts right at the beginning of it, which is the smallest thing there. What is the smallest? So we call it Anu, or we call it atom. Now you may say atom can be broken further. Yes, atom can be broken further, but the basic thing which is actually existential, that means it has got an existence, is the atom. The electrons, protons, and all these other things that are there, whatever that people talk about, that is a component of the same thing called the atom. All right. So we are not going to go further than atom. We are just going to take atom into consideration. So here Maitreya Muni is telling us that the indivisible thing that is available in every place is called the atom. It is invisible to the naked eye. which is 100% right. We cannot see an atom. We have to use electron microscopy for understanding the atom. We have to go into the depth of it. We can do scientific calculations and all, but we cannot physically see an atom. We can see a created substance. So even after the dissolution of all forms, so whichever substance that you take, whichever object that you take, after it gets dissolved, after it goes back to the native state, the original state, the atoms are still going to be there. So let us say you are born and you die. After death, you may say that the body was lying in a grave and it deteriorated and all those kind of things. But you have to understand whether it is converted into a gas or a solid or a liquid or whatever it might be, the original state will still remain, which is called the atom. Got it? So, the material body is but a combination of such atoms. Our body, animal bodies, or for that matter, any body, including the planetary systems, or even space for that matter, you will find that the space contains some kind of atomic structure. Till stratosphere or till earth, just above the earth also, we will still have atoms over there. And we may say beyond that is the vacuum, but we really don't know about it. So we have to further search for this kind of an answer. So today we are going to learn about how time came into the picture from atom. All right. Now today we are actually following that. So it is misunderstood by common man. All this is misunderstood by common man. Common man has very little knowledge about this subject. Verse 2 says, atoms are ultimate state of the manifest universe. When they stay in their own form without forming different bodies, they are called unlimited oneness. They are certainly different bodies in physical form, but the atoms themselves form the complete manifestation. Now, one type of atoms that are there, one type, when they do not mix around with another. So, a specific type of atoms coming together, in science we call them elements. Isn't that what we call them? Suppose all the atoms of lithium come together, so we'll say lithium. If we say gold, so auric, gold. So gold atoms all coming together will make only one kind, that is gold. So here what is Maitreya Muni telling us? Maitreya Muni is telling us that these atoms, they can club together to form one solid piece of atom also, that is a structure. That will be called elements. They can mix around with others. They can keep on mixing around with others and they will become compounds. I hope you understand this. So this is what he is saying. So when they mix around with others, different bodies are created. So suppose we take, like water is there. Okay, now water is a combination of hydrogen and oxygen, isn't it? Two elements coming together. So you will understand this. When these two elements come together, then only water is created. Now just by itself as hydrogen, it is not at all created. Hydrogen is separate. So all hydrogens put together, okay, can just be hydrogen by itself as an element. All oxygen can be put together and oxygen by itself can be called an element, right? So this is what he is saying in the second verse. Now we go to the third one. Now, okay, let us just see the last line. There are certain different bodies in physical form, but the atoms themselves form the complete manifestation. So physically there might be different things around. As I took water into consideration, H2O. Now, it is separate, it looks separate, correct? But it can be broken up into hydrogen and oxygen also, right? So this is what he's saying. So now let us see the next verse. One can estimate time by measuring the movement of the atomic combination of bodies. Time is the potency of the Almighty Personality of God, Sri Hari, who controls all physical movements, although he is not visible in the physical world. Now here, this should have been attended by Veer because he might have found it very interesting, but I don't think he's here. So anyway, just to give you an idea how this works. Now, here he is saying one can estimate time. How can you estimate time? Remember, when we started, I told you time is estimated by different factors. But time is actually supposed to be estimated by the atomic movements of atom. Now, related to something which is very peculiar. Try to understand what I'm saying. That peculiarity is called samvatsara. Samvatsara. Now, what is samvatsara? In an atom, have you seen how the atom is shown in a chart? You know, there is a central nucleus and there are electrons going around it, proton and neutron. This is basically how it is. So can you understand this is exactly what is happening over there in the world? In a very tiny particle, it is atomic in nature. In this world, there is something which we call as the sun. And round the sun, the bodies are moving. The pattern is similar, isn't it? More or less the same. Here the similarity is taken into consideration. We are not atomic in nature. We are very big. Our size is bigger than an atom. We are made up of millions or billions of atoms. So we are not taking this into consideration. For us, which is the samvatsara we are looking at? Samvatsara is called the orbit, okay, of a certain thing. So the orbit of a sun is what we take into account. Are you understanding? So the movement of the sun, which in our case, the earth is moving, the sun is in one place. So for us on the earth, how does it look like? As if the sun is rising and the sun is setting. Sun is rising and setting, rising and setting. Isn't this how it is? So we measure time by means of sun, the movement of sun. But what is Maitreya Muni telling us? Maitreya Muni is telling us, just like that happens, the movement of the atoms also happens. All right? So atoms are moving around. Atoms are not stationary. Some of the atoms are not going to be stationary. For the purpose of understanding, only for the purpose of understanding, there is a way of understanding how this works. If you take a pollen grain, you know what a pollen grain is, isn't it? You take a pollen grain and put it in water. Put the pollen grain in water. If you put the pollen grain in water, you will find the pollen grain doesn't stay in one place. It keeps on moving. All right? When it keeps on moving, it is called the Brownian motion. You don't have to know the name, but it is called the Brownian motion. It just keeps on going here, there, all over the town. Similarly, atoms are like that. By the will of God, according to our way of looking at it, because we are spiritual people, Narayana does this movement. Narayana is making the atoms move. That is what is mentioned over here. So the movement of the atoms is the way in which time is measured. Are you understanding? Now you will understand the cesium clock. There's an element called cesium. And the movement of that is measured, X amount of movement happens within such and such amount, X movements. It is also there in your watch. If you see the watch, if you are wearing a electronic watch, you will find the electronic watch. There is a movement inside. Okay. That movement, I'm sure you have understood how that works, little bit at least. It is by movement of that silicon within. Alright, it's basically how that measurement of time happens. What is Maitreya Muni telling us? Time is measured by the movement of these elements. One can estimate time by measuring the movement of the atomic bodies, combination of atomic bodies. Time is the potency of Sri Krishna, who controls all physical movements. Though he is not visible in the physical world. So in the physical world, Lord is not visible. But because he is making these things move in the elemental form, so time measurement happens. It is estimated. What is it? It is not the real time. It is estimated time. So if you have to look at time in the material world, we say relative time. Isn't it? Relation of one to the other. How do you measure time? In our world, how do we measure time? By the movement of the sun, isn't it? We say sunrise and sunset. Isn't it? So we are actually looking at the sun and making these calculations. So what is he saying over here? Maitreya Muni is saying, it is the movement of these elements in a compound, basically in combination. That is how the time is measured. So the next verse says, atomic time is measured according to the covering of a particular atomic space. That time which covers the unmanifest aggregate of atoms is called the great time. Now, we have to look at it at two levels. One is at an atomic level and one is at a level which we are, human beings are. So the movement of the sun from east to west and then it goes round, right? We are taking that into consideration. So see what he is saying very clearly. The space covered by this atomic particle, we are going to calculate the time as per the space covered. Now see, the first formula is over here. What is the first formula telling us? Very simple. What is the speed? Speed is equal to distance into time. Isn't that what we learnt when we were kids? Distance traveled by time taken is equal to the speed. Did you understand this? So how is time calculated? Speed is equal to distance multiplied by time. So if I want to know time, time is equal to speed upon distance. Did you get the formula? So here Maitreya Muni is giving us the first formula of science. It is so simple. The time taken for the particle to move from A to B point. This is what we say space covered. That is a distance covered. So now you have got three factors into consideration. First is the distance. Second one is the time taken. How much time is taken from here to there? When you know that, then you know what is the speed that it works at. So if I know the speed, I can calculate it backwards by means of time. This is such a beautiful calculation which he has given us. So, atomic time is measured according to its covering a particular atomic space. So, one place to another covered is the atomic time. This time which covers the unmanifest aggregate of atoms is called the great time. So, the whole body of this moving from one place to the other place over a certain distance. See, I'm trying to go as slow as possible. Okay, please try to understand. I can only go at a certain pace. So if one atom is going from one place to the other, we say distance covered, right? Now, the calculation of time has come into the picture. So he says, if I take a whole load of substance over here, that means like the earth, if earth moves from here to here, the distance covered, it will always be represented by the time. Isn't that what is happening? The earth is moving like this from A point to B point. Are we not saying that half an hour has gone, 1 hour has gone, 2 hours have gone, 10 hours have gone? How beautifully this has been explained. So the distance covered by the earth, large body, he says, no, aggregate of atoms. So the large body like earth is doing an aggregation. Suppose you are taking part in a race also. You are running 100 meters or say you are doing a marathon. So you are distance runner, isn't it? You are running certain distance. Is it not measured in time also? Distance covered over time. So he says an aggregate of these atoms, an aggregate of substances moving over a space, a distance, can also be directly proportional to time. So far so good? I hope you understand. So now we do the next one. The division of gross time is calculated as follows. 2 atoms make 1 double atom. 3 double atoms make 1 hexaatom. This hexaatom is visible in the sunshine which enters through the hole of a window screen. One can clearly see that the hexaatom goes up towards the sky. This is a little difficult for those who don't understand this. A combination of atoms, not just one. A combination of atoms takes place. Many atoms come together. When many atoms come together, they create a structure. Have you seen? They create a structure. What is the structure that they create? Have you seen crystals? Structures like crystals are there. Diamond. Diamond is nothing but carbon, isn't it? Very clearly, you know that. Is it forming a structure or no? More of those coming together makes one entire body. So if I have to take a few carbon atoms, put them together, they will create one structure. Lot of structures coming together will create one diamond. Isn't that how it works? Even, compounds also make that, like sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is a common salt. If you see common salt, it is a crystal. And the crystals coming together make a lump of it, isn't it? Have you noticed it or no? So what he is saying over here is, one atom, when it combines with 2 or 4 or 6, it has got a structure. when he says hexa atoms, what is hexa? 6. How many of you know how organic chemistry works? Carbon is one of the most important atoms. Carbon is one of the most important atoms in our universe. We are made up of carbon atoms. Carbon atoms are 6. That is why you will find that carbon can combine in a hexagon. You understand? Hexagonal in nature. Maitreya Muni is telling us all these things. Imagine that. So, a sugar atom, a sugar. Have you seen a sugar crystal? So, you will find that sugars basically are C6H6, those, the carbon, hydrogen. Carbon and hydrogen. Okay? I don't want to go deeper into that subject. Otherwise, you will get bored with it. You may go to sleep. So he's saying in the hexagonal state that are there, the movement happens. But when the movement happens, a very strange thing happens. Now, this is something which we are just studying. Hardly, science is still not ready for this kind of an understanding. But here is Maitreya Muni telling us what happens. A single beam of light, when it is sent through a single hole, you might have noticed that the light travels in a straight line, isn't it? So when it goes through a hole, it travels in a straight line. But if I create a slit in a cardboard and I send the light from this side, you will find that on the other side where the light is falling, there is an aura formed. The slit is there, but an aura is also formed over there around that line. So it is like sun and it has got all these things. All right. Now he is saying something very strange. Listen to what he is saying. He is saying, if I make a double slit, one here and one here. Okay. So I make a double slit. Let us say I take a paper like this and I make a slit over here, one slit and a second slit. So 2 slits I make. And now I try to pass light through this. The slits are close by. A very strange phenomena happens. Light doesn't travel straight at all. And I want you to, if you really are keen, this theory is it's still in elemental stages. Nobody knows this. So what is he saying? He is saying, try this out. It's called the double slit experiment. What is it called? Double slit experiment. Go and try it out. And you will be shocked by the results. This changes the entire knowledge that we have about atoms and spaces and everything. And here he is telling us that. The division of a gross time is calculated as follows. 2 atoms make 1 double atom and 3 double atoms make 1 hexaatom. The hexaatom is visible in the sunshine which enters through the hole of a window screen. One can clearly see the hexaatom goes up towards the sky. When we make this double slit experiment, this we will actually understand. A single slit may not give us an answer. And this is a very, very interesting phenomena that happens. Now he says the time duration needed for the integration of the three Trisanas is called a Truti, and 100 Trutis make one Veda. 3 Vedas make one lava. So now he is giving us how time came into the picture. Okay, I don't want you to get all muddled up in all this that is being said over here. The time duration needed for integration of the 3 of these, 1, 2, 3, is called Truti. It's called Truti. There is a time factor called Truti. 100 of those Trutis, 3 into 100, makes one Veda. And one Veda makes one lava. The duration of the 3 lavas is equal to 1 Nimisha. The combination of 3 Nimishas makes 1 Shana. 5 Shanas combined together makes 1 Kashta. And 15 Kashta makes 1 Lagu. I'm just going through this. Don't bother your head about knowing this, because this is a very, very interesting but a very highly knowledgeable subject. You are going to get completely muddled by it, but I will tell you within a minute after we finish these 3 verses. 15 lagus make 1 nadika, which is also called danda. 2 dandas make 1 muhurta, and 6 to 7 dandas make 1/4 of a day or night according to human calculation. So here what he is saying is, if I take 1/4 of a day or night, 6 or 7 dandas make 1 whole day. Okay, you are 24 hours. So the measuring pot of 1 nadika or danda can be prepared with 6 pala weight, that is 14 ounces pot of copper, in which a hole is bored with a gold probe weighing 4 masa and measuring 4 fingers long. When the pot is placed on water, the time before the water overflows in the pot is called 1 danda. So in ancient times, they had this clock which was working. So they took 1 pot. This pot was made from 14 ounces pot was there. The pot was 14 ounces, in which there was 1 hole was bored inside with a gold probe weighing 4 masa and measuring 4 fingers long. So 4 fingers are these. So this much long it was taken. When the pot is placed on water, the time before the water overflows in the pot is called 1 danda. Have you seen time in that, sand clock that is there? So when you turn it upside down and all that, it takes a certain amount of time, isn't it? So here there was a measurement of time, but this is an approximate measurement which he had told us in the beginning, because it is all relative. It is calculated that there are 4 praharas, which are also called yamas, in the day and 4 in the night of the human being. Similarly, 15 days and nights are called a fortnight, and there are 2 fortnights, the white and the black, in a month. Okay, so you will find that the moon is there involved in that. Okay, so you will find that 15 days in a month, okay, the moon is going to rise and then the moon is going to wane, wax and wane. All right, so you will find that there is Amvasha and there is Purnima also. So I don't want to go deeper into this subject. It's going to, toast your brains. So let us just go with what is written over here. The aggregate of 2 fortnights in 1 month. And that period in one complete day or night for the Pita planet. 2 of such months comprise one season. So there are how many seasons in a year? 6 seasons. That is 6 months comprise one complete movement of the sun from south to north. Isn't this how it works in our life also? The sun is in the southern hemisphere and then it goes in the northern hemisphere and then comes back again, and the sun is moving up and down like this, isn't it? When we have summer over here, there is winter in the southern region, that is in the southern hemisphere. And when we have winter over here, it is summer in the southern hemisphere. This is what we have known, isn't it? So here he is telling us exactly about that. So 6 months in a year, the sun is moving upwards and 6 months it is moving downwards. 2 solar movements make one day. The sun is moving from there to there, east to west and west to again east, correct? And then again it rises, so it is making 2 movements. One going and one coming, right? One day and night of the demigods, and that combination of the day and night is one complete calendar year for the human beings. The human beings has a duration of life of 100 years. Approximate time human beings can live in this world is for 100 years. Again, this is an approximation, so don't go by this, Influential stars, planets, luminaires and atoms all over the universe are rotating in their respective orbits under the direction of the Supreme, represented by the eternal Kala. So, the Lord's power is moving this whole thing right around us. Why is the sun moving? Why is the earth moving? Why are the planets moving? Why this is happening? So we just say, okay, by the will of God. We don't have to go further into that, because the more we are trying to understand, the more we are going to get very all muddled up. So better not to do that. So there are 5 different names of the orbit of the sun, moon, stars and luminaires in the firmament, and they each have their own samvatsara. So there are different orbits created by the sun, the moon, the stars and every other luminaire. That is the things that we see in the sky. So here we will stop, but before that I will tell you what this whole thing means. Okay? So here he is given us 15 days in a month. Okay, the whole year is there, all right, 12 months in a year, but every month has got 15 days. We call it as a fortnight. So one fortnight is called one paksha. All right. What is this paksha? We have the moon waning and the moon waxing. Moon waxing means when it becomes big. Waning means from big it becomes small and disappears. Correct? So that 15 days go by in one and 15 days go by in another. So this is what we have to take into consideration. So we have 2 pakshas in a month. 2 pakshas in a month. One night, again there are 2 pakshas. That is 2 divisions in one day. What is that? 12 hours when we are in the darker period and 12 hours in the brighter period. So you will find that the sun is up and running for 12 hours and the sun is not running up for 12 hours. So bright and again dark. So one day, one night is like that. So 12 hours and 12 hours division. One prahara is equal to 3 hours in a day. So how many praharas when the sun is up? 4, isn't it? 12 divided by 3? 4. Similarly, when the sun is down, again 4. 1 hour is made up of 2 dandas. So 1 danda is equal to 30 minutes. And 1 laghu is equal to 2 minutes. So how many laghus in 1 danda? in 30 minutes divided by 2. So that many dandas. One kashta. We say, no, just a second. Give me just a second. Do we say these words? When we say, give me just a second, it is actually saying, give me 8 seconds. So, tuck, 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 8 seconds. So, it is 8 seconds is called one kashta. And 8 kashta divided by 5 is equal to 1 shana. Give me 1 second. We say, na, give me a moment is equal to 8 seconds divided by 5. So it would be 1 point something. 1 nimisha. 1 nimisha smaller than that is equal to 8 by 15. 1 lava is 8 by 45. 1 Veda is 8 by 135. And 1 Truti is equal to 8 by 13,500. Okay, so let us not get into all this thing. It's all toasting our brains. So let us understand only the 365 days that we are supposed to be alive. And tentatively, everybody is supposed to be average time, lifespan is going to be 100 years. Right? So I hope you understood time so far. Some of you might have understood. Anyway, I hope you got at least 1% of what is being said. So how the movement of these atoms happen, how time is calculated. That's it. Don't bother the rest about it. Just go see the watch. Now we have done 45 minutes of this. So we will stop over here for today.